Look at that, all the people walking down the streets that have been completely destroyed. This looks like a hurricane disaster zone. There's just so much destruction on the coast. But you can notice that the center of the city, entire blocks are back. They're rebuilt. We have our rescue teams going in. Hello and welcome back to San Vooprisco, and look at how beautiful it is. The greatest city. It's doing so well. Oh my god, I'm not used to how fast the mass moves in this compared to Surviving Mars. So much more rotation. It's crazy. Okay, so after last time we kind of lost literally everything. We built a slight tsunami defense. We had to turn off most of our services, and now we're in the process of slowly rebuilding. Yeah, it's not the best. I'll admit, it could be better. Tep, get out of the way. I need to destroy some buildings. People kind of complain about that on the corner, so I guess I'll get rid of it. I mean, it's like a shout out that I don't even have to put effort into. It's great. But people think it's their Steam notifications going off, so I understand how that would be annoying. So we are back at 2,000 population. The population is very, very slowly coming back. Did they fix the city statistics with rush hour? No, they didn't. Because it said rush hour is updated, and I got really excited. So it would appear that many buildings were lost, but we are slowly regaining from that. It looks like about a third of the city is back online, and we're making enough money that we can turn, can rebuild some buildings.
Tsunami has struck the city. Take caution and avoid roads and waterfronts.
They are pretty expensive to run, but we have to make sure that the people who come back are happy about it. And as services come back, even more people will return to the city because it's better. Look at that, all the people walking down the streets that have been completely destroyed. This looks like a hurricane disaster zone. There's just so much destruction on the coast. But you can notice that the center of the city, entire blocks are back. They're rebuilt. We have our rescue teams going in. It's very neat. It's good. We are actually recovering. So I think that is evidence that nothing's really going to be able to stop us, because we literally lost every single building in the city and we came back from it. Crater Forest, the trees are doing a good job soaking up the water. It looks like we actually have some industry back. They aren't able to export anything, of course, because the road's completely covered, but progress. Progress. Shh. I know. You don't have to tell me. I know. Do you see the city? Do you see that the entire thing is, like, dead? I kind of noticed that. Kind of. Okay. So, the disaster response unit certainly saved us that time. There is no argument to be had. If it wasn't for them, we'd be kind of doomed. We are going to have some issues because a lot of our services aren't online. We're having some problems with electric. Let's see our budget. I'll put it up to 130%, see if that helps. That did help. This is now going to be a lot of micromanagement. We have to make sure that the city comes back healthily, and then once it's all repaired, we're going to try to do some expansion. In order to get high density buildings, we need 7,000 population. We're at 2,600. So we have a little ways to go until we can really start pushing the population up. But that's okay. Oh my god. You are the most annoying person ever. Jeez. Like, she manages. Like, why? It's not even a tsunami anymore. Where is their water? There's like a wall here. No water is getting through. More power issues. Push up the electric budget a little bit more. Is that not going to be enough? That is not going to be enough. So we're going to turn on the backup.
A tsunami has struck the city.
Or
Take
what was
caution
the
and
main?
avoid roads and
This used to be the backup.
water recedes.
Now that that's there, we can turn down the budget because now we have way extra electricity. So we'll bring it down to like 100%. There we go. Things aren't looking too bad. Thankfully, we have a lot of emergency money. So if something happens during this very important regrowth process, we'll be ready for it. Hopefully we can have a little bit of a... I think because it keeps saying there's a tsunami, the game still detects a tsunami. So I think there's a chance that we won't get a disaster for a while, just because it keeps detecting it. Which is good, we get a little break. Little break. The edges of the city are still kind of damaged. Yeah, the edges are still completely destroyed. But the center of the city is actually repairing itself. Some of the industry is coming back. There's no demand for everything because of, well, the situation. Overall, it's looking pretty good.
Take caution and avoid roads and waterfronts until the water recedes.
So when it comes to it, most of the city has actually recovered from the disaster. Of course, we still do have places that are destroyed. This is going to be a little bit of waiting, which I hate. But I can't... Well, I could cut it afterwards, but we'll see if anything interesting happens.
A tsunami has struck the city. Take caution and avoid roads and waterfronts.
We actually have a lot of money, so I'm thinking we should improve these defenses a little bit. There's a few ways we can do that. The first way is just going to be making it taller. Maybe if we can get it up to this hill height, we'll be fine. Or like close to it. So if we do this, make a really large wall of dirt, mud, sand, all of that good stuff, we can build out a much stronger wall across, and that will hopefully help us out. Something else we can do is we can build, well, we can dig. What you want to do is you want to put like a moat in front of it, but we just don't have the space for that. I guess we could just dig it. It's not going to do much though. Do. Maybe it'll help compress the water into the lower area. I don't know. I don't know that much about how this game simulates the water. I mean, I did build a giant mega project based off of its water simulation, but it's still confusing. Let's go ahead, turn up the water budget because now they're having issues. There we go. Yay, we have our trash service back, which makes everyone very happy. Things are coming back. Very slowly, but very surely. Okay, so now...
A tsunami has struck the city. Take caution and avoid roads and waterfronts.
We don't
until the water
actually...
recedes.
This is actually much cheaper than I thought it would be. So this wall is actually going to not completely destroy our virtual wallet. Sure, we're dropping a lot of money on it, but usually this is like in the millions for major landscaping operations. So I can't complain. This hill is now much stronger than the last one. compared to this. It's much more consistent, and it's taller than the buildings themselves, so it'll stop a small tsunami that would normally take out all of our buildings. It's pretty good. Oh god, I'm becoming iDubbbz. We can also put that little moat area around here. That's also a viable option.
A tsunami has struck the city. Take caution and avoid roads and waterfronts until the water recedes.
Because the edges are a huge problem. I just want to make sure the water doesn't just spill into it naturally. Or actually, if I do that, I can get pretty close. I just don't want it to fill up before a disaster. Like that. That's what I don't want it to do. Did I stop it? Yes, I did stop it. Okay, so that'll dry up. So there is a flood channel there. We can put another one on the other side after we finish this up. The city is going to make it through this okay, which is great. We're already at 3,500 population. We were kind of on the edge of the part where I know after we hit a certain point, the city would pretty much be impossible to destroy. Once you hit like 20,000 population, you can pretty much come back from anything, except for very, very bad disasters. Like in the case of Las Vooperis, the problem was when I was hit, there were so many roads down, the maintenance on all those roads and stuff cost so much. In order to actually survive after everything was lost, I had to get rid of all of the roads. And getting rid of all the roads is horrible. It's terrible. It makes the entire city so much, like, it makes the entire thing kind of worthless, because you have to basically restart from square one when doing anything. It's very sad. However, we're learning from those mistakes. Oh shoot, but I didn't learn from what I said 20 seconds ago. Don't let that fill beforehand. Don't worry, it'll dry out over time. I don't know how deep I put the other one at. So what we'll do is we'll copy it and apply it over here. Yeah, it's a bit deeper. Now, may be asking what the purpose of this is if it's not in the front, and it's because when the water comes up, it will actually try to go around, and if all the stuff going around falls into these basins here, it'll actually knock out like a third of the actual damage from the tsunami, because a lot of the damage was from it going around, up, and then pouring back down. So it was like we were getting attacked in two directions, and I'd much rather deal with one direction. It's very complicated, especially without being allowed to pause. It's very complicated dealing with a disaster when there's things going on in multiple locations, which is why I hope we'll never have two disasters at once, because that would be absolutely messy. So we don't want to fill in what we just did. We're going to go right across the edge here. This is a nice looking wall. Huh, the government should hire me. This is going very well. We actually are making enough money to fund the wall building, which is impressive considering this is usually really expensive. Even in New Vooperis, where we had $1 million or so dollar budget surplus, you know, there is quite the situation when it comes to it. Because when the problem with New Vooperis is that it was so high up the dam that it was just insanely expensive to build a wall or anything, because the amount of material we were moving. Like, you can see now that I'm digging the hole this deep, the price is going up astronomically. Like, that was 11,000 when the first letter was 2,000. Of course, it's much better now. It can take in a whole lot of water, but that's not the point. The point is it's getting very expensive, but we can afford it. And as long as we can afford this, we should be doing it. It is security for our fellow citizens. Safety for our own citizens is one of our most important values in San Vooprisco, because they live in like the most dangerous place ever. Like, why did we even build a city here if it has so many disasters? There's so many questions that have to be asked. So now that this is all set, we're going to bring it back around here just to build out this a little bit, because I do have plans. I'm sure the people are very happy that the government is taking an actual response and attempting to make it safer. They're probably also really angry that they got no warning ahead of time of the giant wave that was completely visible. But we'll come up with some excuse for that, you know. There's got to be something. We can blame Russia. There we go. They hacked our surveillance systems. So we're just about done with this, which is great. The good wall. And you can just see below the people rebuilding after the disaster. It's very nice to know that everyone is working hard to make it past this. And now stage 2 is going to be to go here, and then we can put up a flood wall on top of this. Look at that. Told you guys I had a 2-step plan. This just adds a lot of height and rigidity to the mix. You know we're getting serious when we build a proper flood wall. So we never do things properly. I hope the citizens are happy with the efforts I'm putting in to keep them safe. I mean, this is a pretty massive system for flooding. And we taper it on the end, because that'll protect these guys up here. Oh, I forgot about them. We're gonna have to build this flood wall kind of all the way across, won't we? Shoot, I didn't even think about that. I guess it can go up to like there. That does make a pretty good barricade still. It's not perfect, but it's something. I've always wondered, can you put roads on the flood? That would have been great. That would have been good design if they allowed you to do that. Kind of disappointed that you can't. You should be able to build bridges through it too, because it's like, I meant tunnels, not bridges. That wouldn't make much sense. We're having some power problems again. Let's go ahead and turn up our budget. Boop. Boop. We're at 4,000 population. Most of the city has been repaired. Even the edges only have a few buildings destroyed. The new section is actually doing fairly well. Very nice. You see, our efforts are paying off. Some people would have just called it quits there, but I knew that the fellow Vooperians We're strong enough to come back from the disaster. So we're actually going to make a second wall in the water to break the wave. Because a slightly taller one. Because if we can hold the majority of the wave back before the main part of it hits... Uh-oh, it doesn't consider it to be a tsunami anymore. The warning is gone. So now we are in legitimate danger. Okay, now this is the expensive part of the wall. Yep, that's not cheap, alright. There goes, like, all of our money. We will continue that later. We will pull it all the way across. We just don't have the money right now. But it's something. And you know what? Just because if something does hit, I'm just going to put this on here because that tiny bit of extra protection is always worth it. There we go. So you know what? I think we are pretty safe now. It would have to be a pretty massive tsunami to cause complete destruction now, especially with all of the defensives we've put up. Before the tsunami was actually quite small. I don't know if it would have gotten over this. It was about the size it required to destroy these buildings, so I think we would have been fine if we had a wall like this last time. But who knows? We'll see what happens. You never know in this series. You never know what's gonna happen. There's always a tiny bit of risk involved. The rebuilding efforts seem to be going very well, though. I am happy with them. My fellow citizens are making me proud. Oh, you know what we can do? We can build this around, connect it here, and then dig a pit in here. We can just move the coast out. Yeah, that works. And we have a tiny bit of demand now, actually, for industrial. That's exciting. Do we have any more services that need to be rebuilt? Nope. Good. We are finally seeing some growth. After absolute destruction, we shall rebuild. I'm just gonna do a little bit of a outcropping here. Nothing fancy, but just a little bit of space to fit some more industry. Add a little bit of redundancy to our water lines so that if one part breaks, it doesn't break everything. Here we go. We can zone this. Ah, shoot. Wrong tool. We'll just paint it. It's not that much. There we go. So Crater Forest is actually back. We've got new industry that's coming. It's very exciting. We're actually doing something right for once. All these places on the outside are using the wood to make things. Then we've got all the people making the wood in the center. It's a good system. And then we've got the generic industry on the very outside. Oh my god, we replant the trees after. Jeez, uneducated citizens. Here we go. Ah, that's what I wanted to do for so long. We need to put some sort of a city on top of this hill. Because this is going to be what survives everything. I'm being serious. This is the solution to pretty much all of our problems. It's building the big city on top of a hill. Because if the big city is on top of a hill, if a tsunami comes, guess what doesn't get destroyed? The big money maker. And as such, we are going to do exactly as I said, and we are going to outline what is required for a big city. Right over here. Because you know what? This is going to survive literally everything. And that makes me happy. It's a little bit rocky, so it's not going to have the most building density, but when I think about it, it's the best way to keep us safe. Financially, at least. The individuals in disasters down there will still sadly be hurt, but the entire city won't collapse when these things happen. I'm trying my best here with the zoning. It's not the prettiest, but everything's kind of bumpy, so we just gotta do the best we can. There we go, that works for me. And then down the center, we'll just go boop, 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 boop. And same thing right here. Very nice. We have created the outline of a city, and now we just need to get people up there. Which is going to be slightly complicated. Because highways aren't cheap. Especially when they're giant bridges going up mountains. You know what? We'll just use... we'll just have them use a single lane to go off and go all the way up to here. There we go. Beautiful. It may not be great design, but it's cheap and it works. Yes, citizen safety is important, but not going bankrupt is also important. Okay. See, all we gotta do is we just have to very strategically build lanes up and down. This one was pretty nice, actually. It went pretty straight. This one had to curve a little bit, but it works, doesn't it? Yes. Yes, it does. Now we just have to get some water over, which is going to be another expensive venture. But this is our first proper city block. This is built for high density. We don't have high density available yet, but this was built properly. It's got everything pretty much under control and residential. I know I forgot power. I'll do it in a second. I'm sure the people won't care. Let's bring that power line right down there. Across here, across the river, and straight to the power. There we are. Look at that. Our first safety grid. It's beautiful, it's safe, it should keep the city alive during a disaster. At least that's the plan. So let's just, I'm gonna zone a few grids. I'm not gonna do it all at once, because we may have to add like commercial or something to a grid. It's gonna take a while to fill all this in anyways. Although it looks like a lot of people are moving in, which makes me very excited. because that means the city is growing for the first time in a while. Why did we drop to 3,000? What? Oh no, we didn't drop. I thought we were at 4,000 a second ago, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just not thinking correctly. We do have a fire service there. Good. And it's time for a fire service up here. Look at that. There's even a building on fire. Point made. Maybe we should put it close enough that it can actually help. There we go. Send out fire trucks, please. There's a fire. Please. Oh, they're dead. Oh no, someone saved them from the other part of the city. Good. Good, good. I'm not responsible for any deaths. Not yet. Okay, looking good. We will zone some commercial down this side here. Oh no, the wall's on fire. What will we do? I should just put like trees along the front of it to make it look kinda pretty, you know. We have to focus on the important things. We have to intimidate the tsunami with a wall of pink trees. The trees will soak up the water. This is totally necessary. They are our last line of defense. Not really. The wall itself is the last line of defense, but shush. It's a great plan. I don't see any issues with this plan. I don't know, I just thought the entire thing looked kind of ugly, so if we like put some vegetation in front of it, even though it won't be visible with the massive larger wall right in front of it, but we could probably put some stuff down there too. Yeah, look at that. We will make the tourists flock to us using very pretty trees right in front of the tsunami defenses. They won't even realize that the wall's there for tsunamis. They'll think it's some big art project, and so they won't be afraid of getting hit by a tsunami. What do you mean misleading? By the way, you cannot just hold down click and place a ton of them. I wish you could. That would be a beautiful addition to the game. Please, Paradox. Please. Trees. I wonder if I'm just going a little bit insane here. Oh well. Jeez, are we getting close to the edge? How big is this city? Like, we've at least placed at least 2 trees, and at most 1 million. Oh, we're almost there. Very flowery tree. Wow, you know what? We're bringing back the local bee population. Because all the flowery trees, and they're protected, and the people are protected from the bees with the wall, and the wall protects the bees from the people. This is a great situation. People should learn from this channel when they design their own cities. This is beautiful design. Beautiful. Look at it. It's amazing. Look at all the trees. Okay, we have slight power issues. Yes, that's bad. this just dropping my FPS? Oh my god, it totally is. Oh, maybe not. I wonder why it's low. Probably because I'm rendering it in 4K. So let's turn that down a little bit. Maybe if we turn it down to like 150%. I probably don't need... Okay, that didn't really change anything, did it? Yeah. So the issue is not on my graphics card. Oh well. I can live without the 144 hertz. Okay, things are looking good. We do have a new section of the city popping up rather quickly. When it comes to education, we're actually doing well, which is a first. Let's go ahead and plop a high school down here so that the people can get their education. Let's zone more because we've actually filled up all of the spots. The population is now at 4,000. Yay! We're getting somewhere. Only 3,000 to go. Only 3,000 to go. So I think that's going to be it for today, guys. We've got a new security area over here that'll keep the tax money rolling in even if the entire rest of the city gets destroyed. We've got a brand new shiny tsunami wall to prevent tsunamis, and the beginnings of an even more massive tsunami wall. And then we've got the tree defenses, the most important addition. It's a beautiful, beautiful line of trees. They're all ready to soak up all the water when it comes at it. Look at them. They look so nice. And then we've got the city itself, which I'm pretty sure the land value probably dropped a bit when we built a giant wall and got rid of their beach. But, you know, life is life. You know, better not to die. Yeah, the land value is slightly higher over here. Oh, wait, no, that's lower. Oh, so the high land value is, like, on here because it's all beach. It's pretty funny. And then there's some good land value over here. Over here, we're starting to improve. Right in the center, though, we're seeing some good vibes. I wonder if we could really just convince everyone that our city's awesome. I wonder if there's some sort of park that isn't too expensive. I know that the movie theater is really expensive, but I don't know how much it costs per week. 2,000. Jeez. We could just put some small parks down. Let the alien invasion begin. Huh. I think we're good how it is. I mean, I'd like to get a movie theater down, but that's really expensive. Oh, tax is too high. So they're starting to complain. So it's time to drop it a little bit. We'll drop it to 11%. That's going to really hurt our income, but, you know, we can handle it. We've got a lot of money on the side now. So yeah, I think that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the episode. And I will see you all next time. Bye.